presentation. I am, this thing is a little slow, I'll give it some time. Try again. There we go. I'm Eckhart Fleming. I also presented 2 weeks ago, and I'm happy to present to you again. What we're going to do right now, or also the other presenters, Ranford, and you. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to pitch a stock, not a stock, a security basically, each of us, and then you're going to vote who you think we should buy. Alright, first some general comments on how you should make a proposal. Right, so basically, this is what you do on your investing part of B&R. You, instead of randomly choosing, all right, you know what, today I feel like day trading whatever silver. No, what you're going to do is you're going to research it, and I'm going to tell you what a good way of setting up that research might be, as such that you don't forget anything and have a coherent story to present to your future investment group. All right, we'll start. Well, introduction, say who you are and why you're doing this, and that you want to make money and stuff like that. The first important thing is your time span. Basically, for how long do you want to hold your derivative or your security? Basically, think, when do I want to get in, when do I want to get out? And because that matters so much for all of your proposals, what time span? It's ridiculous to buy, I don't know, 30-year government bonds, and well, it actually is not that ridiculous, but you get my idea. Time span is crucial. The next bit is your core idea. Actually, most investment ideas can be reduced to a single 30-second elevator pitch where you say what your idea is. Right? I want to invest in rates because the Fed is going to hike. I want to invest in Apple because I think the iPhone 7 is the shit. Or I want to short Apple because I already lost my phones, which I don't even have yet. Alright, so this is your core idea. Why should we invest? And that's your part B. The next bit is fundamental analysis. This goes for a company mostly. Basically, that is where you strip the company apart, look at the nuts and bolts, read balance sheets, calculate ratios, and all that kind of stuff. The next bit is technical analysis. Right? Does anybody here not know what it is? Alright, everyone knows, everyone paid attention last academy, that's good. So, the regular chart magic. Next up is risk management and hedging. Right, well basically, I like to, for risk management, I also like to tell a little story from my investment group, which shall remain unnamed, right now. 2 years ago, we invested in Gazprom. Gazprom, Russian gas giant. On the idea, my core idea was that was actually not my idea, but the core idea was that there's going to be more peace in Ukraine, and when there's peace in Ukraine, the Russians and the Europeans are going to be friends, and once they're friends, contracts will go to Gazprom. That was the idea. Actually, it wasn't even too bad of an idea. There actually was there was a peace agreement and all that stuff. But what happened in 2014 to the oil price? Anybody know? Well, laughter is enough. Indeed, it crumbled. And what crumbled after the oil price crumbled? No, we're going not there yet. Well, the ruble. So Gazprom was in deep shit. So what we didn't think about was what other exposures does Gazprom have? And if we have thought of that, we could have hedged those away. Basically, you buy products to make sure that your security is insulated from all the other events in the world so that you can just focus on your core idea. The next bit, what's important is timing. Basically, when do you want to get in? Exactly, alright, so at what moment should we actually buy the security? That actually matters a lot because the securities fluctuate due to all kinds of stuff which is not related to your core idea, and getting in at the right moment can actually really help you return. Okay, enough general talk, let's go to my proposal. Gold. I want to buy gold. Because, right, you can all read the pun. It's really bad. I'm not going to say it. All right. What's the core idea? Gold is a safe haven for investors in times of chaos. Basically, whenever shit goes down, people buy gold because once civilization crumbled and we are all basically reduced to fallout stuff, gold will help you. Well, it's not that bad, but you get the idea. And political uncertainty is bigger than ever. Maybe you've read some news from news lines, headlines lately. You should. I'll show in a bit why this is actually really true. So, if political uncertainty increases, gold will increase. That's simple enough. Alright, so let's have a little look at our gold. What you can basically see is it comes from really high, from 1,700 US dollars per ounce. Yeah, right, they measured it really weird. It's Americans. And then there's a straight trajectory downwards to about here in January 2016. Right, so anybody have an idea why it was that high in 2012? Basically, what happened? What was going on the geopolitical vector? Yes?
People, during the financial crisis, people lost
Right. When was the financial crisis? Not 2012. Alright, so we're not looking for the financial crisis. Any other ideas? Thank you. Good answer. Euro crisis, everyone. Euro crisis. It's a direct result of the financial crisis, but basically rates went sky high for Italy and Spain, and at this point somewhere here, Draghi took out his big bazooka and shot the Eurozone full of euros. And people like that, uncertainty decreased, the security of the euro was secured, and we've gone down. Look, so now we're up to here, 2016. Who entered the political stage at the beginning of this year?
Donald Trump.
A little fat, orange. Trump, yes, exactly. From a nobody joke, he went from that to the nominee, which is really scary, actually. I know, I don't want to offend anyone, but that's my perspective. And what happened here?
Yeah, we have our own Donald Trump.
Right, this everyone really should know, otherwise it's no sense investing.
The Brexit situation?
Brexit, exactly. Last week I was in London on a tour, and basically everybody had their own, all these bankers I talked to had their own experience of their Brexit. People who were just 24/7 in office, who couldn't sleep, got up at 4 and went to the office and thought they were the first ones, well, everyone was already there. Crazy. So, boom. Okay. I forgot the next slide, yes. Alright, so this little bit about how gold is and where it is at now. Technical analysis. This is important. This basically tells me why I'm wrong. All these indicators, RSI, MHD, Williams, RC, whatever, tell me that I'm wrong. So, let's not pay too much attention to that. No, but seriously though, this is a very big column against my proposal. I'm very honest that basically I don't really believe the core assumption of technical analysis, but when they're all on red, you should have some sense for word. I don't have an answer to this. I believe that my political uncertainty still is just better. Okay, for the relevant analysis. Basically, as I said, what I said about the link between gold price and political uncertainty, people in places like this researched it, and they said that from a rigorous and research standpoint, there is a link between political uncertainty and the gold price. So again, lots of political uncertainty. Right, this is going to be fun. Right, how many huge events can we name that are coming up in the next couple of months? I want at least 3. Anybody have an idea? That could seriously endanger the Eurozone, NATO, relationship with China. Go ahead.
American presidency.
Yes, that's the easy one. That's one. Thank you.
The Russian election, Russian parliament election.
All right. I think I have a pretty good idea who's going to win in Russia. No, Russian elections don't influence, but good example. Alright, anyway, yes.
What about the interest rate hike in the US, the Fed's
Fed.
interest rates?
Exactly. All right, that's a good one because I didn't include this on my story on purpose. What will happen when the Fed hikes rates? What does that say about the economy?
Well, that the economy is going in the right direction. Inflation is going up. I mean, you want to increase interest rates when the economy is boosting.
All right, and what does that mean for gold?
Well, let's say if interest rates are higher, people might start investing more in bonds.
Yes.
Instead
And to talk back to my uncertainty story, if rates go up, gold goes down, roughly. So that's actually a very good point. But not the one I was looking for, but sure, that's common. Anyway, so 1 of 3. Yes, exactly. What happens if they vote yes? Not the political bit, but what happens to your top dog?
Well, the Senate gets reforms basically to tax anymore. So if it fails, basically, so the finance is going to.
Exactly, some risk of some back. Right. We are at 3. Let's have a little look. About to break it. There we go. Right. Slow computer. Or actually huge PowerPoint. Alright, there we are. Alright, so we have Trump. RNC, nobody expected that. We have the Brexit. Let's look at his face. We have our election day. We have the Israeli referendum. We have Dutch elections. Not that important on global scale, but if our not so dear friend Geert Wilders wins, we have another exit from Europe, from the EU, and that's a founding member. Basically, nobody ever really, well, not nobody ever, but the English were also always a little bit in out from the get-go. The Dutch leaving is a whole other ballpark. French elections. Who's this?
Marine Le Pen.
I'm hearing faint Le Pen's. Yes, Marine Le Pen. From Amsterdam. And they'll also love the euro. And then lastly, it's in September next year, we have our own, the German elections. Okay, basically, what you see is the German election falling over on Merkel. So that all could lead up to the breakup of the European Union. Scary stuff, which investors really don't like. But this is, in a really cynical way, is good for us if you invested in gold. So maybe donate to that right-wing nationalist party. But okay, so this is basically my point. This all is trouble for economies and the world, and trouble for the world and economies means an upshot in the gold price. Okay, right, that's how let's talk a little bit about the difficult stuff, the risk management and hedging. Right, surprisingly, the gold and the market are very correlated. At 0.14 correlation, and basically it depends on time frames and which exactly market index you take. There's very little actual correlation between the market at large and the gold price. What is more correlated is the fear index, which is basically the volatility of a larger index, which is better correlated. Still not that much. So this makes gold your ideal diversification tool. Basically, you can put your gold investment into this really nice little corner where it isn't hit by larger fluctuations of the market while cashing in on all this political uncertainty, which makes it a brilliant diversification tool. All right, so a little bit about our timing. So here, technical analysis is going to help me, which is pretty true. So there we are. This is our resistance line. It hit it 3 times. So basically what I think will happen is, you see here in our sell-off, it will hit it at 13.15. And once you hit that resistance line, it's going to go back up. Basically what you're seeing here is a bunch of sell-off waves of compare to, and then it will be an ideal time to buy. Okay, so buy at 13, 15. Okay, so how much would you exit? Alright, so I wrote, when you use here to survive and Trump has invaded Iran. Alright, that's enough. So basically, at the end, keeping the competition in my mind, so basically, once the competition is over, we only have the German election to go, which will be interesting, to say the least. But hold it for the whole competition. Basically, exit when we're done. Or when this happens, you can see it that well, but you see a burnt-on car and looters and rioters. When that happens, buy more. And when this happens, people are greeting. So, right, does anyone who know who these two guys are? John Kerry, yeah? Not the Prime Minister?
Foreign Minister.
Foreign Minister, exactly. I actually don't know his name. But this is the sort of stuff you need to look out for when you invest in macro stuff. So, macro. So, that was the end of my presentation. I think I went through all the steps. And I think I have a coherent proposal here. So, questions? We did how many different time? Bunch of questions.
Maybe more practical question. How do you invest in gold? Do you buy gold physically or how do you do that?
Alright, I'm not going to buy gold physically. What you would do is you buy a future or a sort of other kind of derivative, which basically mimics the gold price. And some guy in London has another thousands of customers who also want the derivative, so he can get the basic asset security stuff. So, a two derivative. That's a good question. Any more questions?
Do you think Yellen will wait after the election to hide them?
That is a question. That is a. If I knew that, I'd be rich. I don't know. I think it's actually quite likely that Yellen will hike rates because the economy of the US is in a really good shape and joblessness is just still falling. So, and on a economic perspective, there's no reason not to hike, I'd say. Good question. No questions? No, all right. I'm seeing that cut off. So, did I tell them about that voting? All right. So basically, you'll hear 3 presentations. I should have said the story. And you'll vote for the best one. So I can count on I can count on your vote. Okay. I'll give it up for the next one. Yes, you. Right. You can have another.
Yes, an applause for Eckhart.
Die pretels, prachtig.
This is not going to work, so I will use it like this. Thank you, Eckhart, for your presentation on gold. But I think it's really boring to invest in that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to propose to you is a very high risk but high reward kind of investment. So first I want to ask you, who likes to play with their money at a casino? Yes. Okay, so if I were to ask you to invest and to have an upside potential of 500% and with 70% chance and lose all with 30%, would you do it?
Yeah.
You would. Okay, so you're the kind of guy who would come to my proposal because regular stocks are boring. You get the same idea that when you buy a stock and you do really good research, you become rich, but it ain't going to happen that fast. When you invest in biopharmaceutical companies, as a matter of fact, you will get really rich really fast. Here is Setup for Pharmaceuticals. They had a drug for a rare type of blood cancer. They were the only company to develop that drug. If you bought it at here at $1.03, results, so they can produce it on the market. Here they get bought out by Jazz Pharmaceuticals, a really big company, for $30 a share. So that's a potential 2,300%. So, my proposal is another company, Mass Therapeutics. Basically, what it is a catalyst proposal. There's an event coming up, and we're going to play on that event. When it happens, and it will be in our favor, we'll get very rich. When it happens and it is not in our favor, we lose our whole position. What I am suggesting is that we buy 1,000 stocks, and because it's a penny stock, it's only 60 cents. We can invest like $600 in it, and the upside potential is huge. To mitigate some risk, I suggest we put a stop loss order at 33 cents. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's an automatic safeguard that the broker sells your stocks when it reaches 32 cents. Okay, so they have a drug called Velocloxamer. Fake Ologosam, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is against sickle cell disease. This slide here. It's a rare disease, 100,000 people in the United States suffer from it. What it does is you have red blood cells, they are round, but the people from sickle cell disease have sickle cell red blood cells. And they can easily clump together. And when they clump together, they block off arteries. And when that happens, organ failure ensues. And with organ failure, people will get a shock and they won't get very old. Currently, there's no such a treatment for this, but Mass Therapeutics is working on one. What it does, it covers the part that connects with other cells by a drug, and basically the blood clotting will not happen again. So the trial is been here for years. They tried it in 2003. They failed because they wouldn't get any significant results. That's really important in these sort of stocks, that they get significant results. So they tried it again. For years now they are making a loss, and they are betting it all on this stock, and it will happen this September. Then we will know what the results will be. Yeah, so the fundamental analysis, the company is shit. So it has losses of 22 cents per share for years now. It hasn't not made a profit ever in its existence. So it relies on the capital that is brought in by shareholders, and that's why the stock price is so cheap, because they issue shares to get more money to pay for the trials. What is interesting though is for potential buyout, like Senator Pharmaceuticals by Jazz Pharmaceuticals, that they do not only have one drug in the making, they have multiple, and the drug that they have is also applicable to other blood diseases. Okay? And they have another one called AIR, it's for heart failure. Don't know how it works, but sounds good. Okay, so the phase 2 results are very impressive. They're very in favor of this stock. But you have to know that this is what they're aiming for, and this is what they get. So that's double significant results. Very impressive. But why is the stock so cheap then? You ask? So, because lots of people don't believe in it. They have read the study of 2003, which says that we'll never be able to get a significant result, and because of the dilution, mainly because they issued so many shares. Also, Hillary Clinton is most likely to be the next president of the United States, was very critical about specific drugs for which specific diseases for which there's only one drug, that the profit cannot be too high. Okay, so how do we come up with a good price? So it's not 50 cents, is what I told you already. I think it is around 2.30 worth, because of the big market for sickle cell disease in the United States, but also in the world as a whole, because there is not one drug that does what this drug does. In the bio sector, buyouts are very much with a hefty premium, like we saw. The stock was worth around 20, and the company was willing to pay 30 for one stock. So were dropping in September, but they didn't, and as of today, they have not been released yet, so you can get all in with that. It consolidates around the 50, what I was expecting, and it has some big spikes downwards, so the upward potential is here, certainly because the RSI is getting low. And there is a resistance at 33. Sorry, yeah, there is a resistance at 33 here. So that's where I want to lay the stop loss order. Okay. Yeah. So further relevant analysis. They joined the Sickle Cell Disease Alliance together with the FDA, the Food and Drug Authority in the United States. The FDA thinks that this drug is really important for people who suffer from sickle cell disease, and they want to push it to the market. So the chances that people who suffer from sickle cell disease actually get the drug is really high. So when it is successful, the chances that it will be available on the market is really high. So that's why I'm also optimistic about the stock. The FDA even said that it can be an orphan stage drug, like it's the only drug for that disease. Okay, risk and hedging is high risk, high reward, but the main point is that it's not really in any way correlated with your market. So it is a safe, not a safe bet, but it's a bet in your portfolio that you can take if you can miss the money when it goes wrong. Because it does not correlate with the market at all. It's mainly, the price is mainly subject to the beliefs of the investors in the company itself. So, and it's also very, really fun to track and to look every day for results are out. So that's why I want to buy it. And we get out at 33, that's what I said, or at 250, it's the upside potential. Okay, so are there any more questions? Yeah.
Do you still think the stock is going to increase even though Bayer with a huge fusion with Monsanto? Maybe the market will think they are going to produce fusions like this.
Now, well, you think that a large company is able to produce it too. That's not the case because, first of all, developing a drug costs years and years and years. So they've been in this since 1999, and they only just today, this month, are able to produce the results. And next to that, the FDA forbids other companies to produce this drug because it has an orphanage stage. So after 30 years, other companies can produce it, but now Mass Therapeutics is the only one who is able to exploit it. Any more questions? Good questions, thank you. Yeah.
When is the event again, and when are you?
This September. So okay, so for they have to release results before the 14th of October because they were so desperate for cash that they attracted a large investment company, and it wants its cash back on the 14th of October when the results are back. So they have to release results before the 14th of October, but they are themselves saying, okay, we'll have the results in September. So it's going to drop any day, or all that I know it dropped already now. So, but that's not really likely because it will not happen during market hours.
Okay, so you want to buy in as late as possible.
So, yeah, as late as possible. When I go to technical, yeah, what you see is right before results, prices drop because people want cheap shares. So they start a bear rate. We'll get into that. But this is mostly what happens before results. You see a price hike, anticipating the results, then a major sell-off. People will get in quick, and then it goes to the moon. So not get in as late as possible. I would advise you, if you wanted to buy as quickly as possible, because the price is now really low. Any more questions? Thank you. Good question. Okay. Thank you for your attention. Join me on the rocket ship.
when we arrived, they told us this baggage of this cabin was too big. And this it happened to be that a lot of people were having apparently then cabin luggage that was way too big. So we are thinking, damn it, excuse me for the language, but these guys is not making a lot of money, man. Like all of these people, they were paying extra money because the cabin luggage was way too big. Even though that was a normal size, so we really had to tiny money. It wasn't Mickey Mouse, I don't know. But anyway, so what is the time spent? In September and October and November, there will be some news releases, relevant news releases. You'll have the September and October sales revenue, especially traffic statistics. And on the 9th of November, you'll have the interim 2017 earnings release. What is the core idea? As Edgar explained, you had Brexit. The Brexit caused a disproportionate decline in the price. I'll let you see it in 1 second in the technical analysis. But as you can see, as you will see later on, it took a drop of better nosedive than microphones could take. So it took a really big nosedive from around 2,000 pounds to all the way to 1,400. The microphone is buy at 1625 and sell it at the target price of 1,800 pounds and a stop loss of 1575. Yes. So that's really got the SWOT analysis. I'll walk you through real quick. You have the strength sound financial statement. They have working capital that is current assets minus current liabilities of more than 100 million euros, and they have a lot of cash on the bank account. This means that they have a lot of financial leeway to make eventual investments. Besides that, the positive analysis consensus. So if you look this stock up, all the analysts say buy. But as we know, the analysts are always very positive. But I'll come back to that later. The weaknesses is also one of the positive or one of the strengths. There are a lot of sales estimates that vary, so you don't know exactly what the price is going to be. Opportunities, lots of growth opportunities. This company operates mainly in Central and Eastern Europe. So Ryanair is one of their biggest competitors, but Ryanair also focuses on the transatlantic flights. So this means that they're growing year after year. I'll show you just a bit with a graph because people love graphs. And there's still room for improvement. Threats, fuel price dependency. It's a time span of only 3 months, so you might say that nothing crazy is going to happen, but as we know, we've seen crazier things happen. All right? So let me go to the continue with this. As you can see, the revenue has been going up the last few years, and what I want you to focus on is especially on the book passengers, because it's not only because of the fuel prices that are low, but it's because they're seeing a spike as well in the book passengers. So that means that it's a sustainable growth. Furthermore, you can see the aircraft fleet is still growing, and they have an underlying profit of 146. Actually, the profit was 182, but the underlying profit, the difference between those two is that with underlying, some one-time costs were taken into account. With that being said, I'm going to the management. I'm a little biased here because the CEO is one of the founders, and he's been the CEO for more than 10 years. And he was the CEO for Malet Airlines in the past. And he was a sales director for Procter & Gamble's in Hungary and in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. So that's why I'm a little biased. But there's concern. There's reason for concern. Peter Leach said if you don't have any concern, maybe you're not doing your homework well. Well, one concern of mine is you have the PE ratio that increased from 2.7 to 15.1. That's quite a spike, which means that apparently the investors are getting caught up with this stock. But right now it's at 8.2. It's hovering around that because of the sharp stock price drop. One director sold 8,744 shares. So that might give you an idea that maybe the director thinks that the share has already peaked out. So we go to the technical analysis. I have to admit this is not one of my strengths, but as you can see, you have here some resistance lines. What I was talking about is here you have the drop I was talking about, the Brexit on the 23rd of June. And as you can see, it
Wolf of Wall Street. Of Wall Street, yeah, Wall Street. Both, yeah, Wall Street. Yeah, that's true. Wall Street one. That's true.
Right, so now we want to
One.
show you
What's the best?
if you've actually decided a bit through the whole process, what do you do? Basically, what is your 10% already today? 10%. But would it then half of us? Yesterday it was 20%. So basically, you can buy it, do it.
So, unfortunately, the treasurer won't let me buy it for real.
Aww.
So we're gonna add it to our shadow portfolio. We're gonna build one during the year. So how many are we gonna buy? I would say there's a limit. 900. Right. So it's the so and then we add it to our shadow portfolio. That's the old value. So and then when you go here, you can see that we've added 900 pieces of master prediction for this price. And during the year, we'll see how this develops and see if you copyright that. Okay, cool. And let's go to the next slide.
Alright, next week, coming up. IG. Alright, so because he worked there and he had good connections, he was able to get us someone from their investment team who's going to talk to you about 4 different things: equities, commodities, IG strategies, and another thing, bonds. So I'll tune in for the first what's called professional academy of the year, so you can see how people out in the world do it. And last thing before you get up, there's a blocks competition. You start talking about that.
Again.
So everybody